In this video, I'm going to show you how to make reels and turn them into ads that sell stuff. Let's go. So yeah, we're talking about reels, R-E-E-L-S. Instagram reels, Facebook reels, but we're not talking about the kind that are like all cute and whatever, and you're just doing a dance or something and trying to get trendy and try to get a lot of likes for whatever reason. We're talking about using reels to sell things and make a profit quickly. That's what this video is about. Now, before we begin, I want to give credit where credit's due. I got the idea to test reels as ads from this dude. His name is Depesh Mandalia. He's a solid guy, really, really good Facebook advertiser, really good teacher of Facebook stuff. And he put out a memo talking about Facebook Reels. And I'm like, what the hell are Facebook Reels? I kind of pay attention to Instagram Reels, but I'm not really a social media person. I advertise on social media like crazy. I don't really use it because I'm 50 and I have a lot of stuff to do and I got kids and I ain't got time for that. So for like the 7 people that might be watching this that don't know what Reels are, here's what Instagram Reels look like. Facebook Reels look the same. So I'm showing you this on my computer, but just imagine these are on your phone, right? So this is an example of a reel, okay? It's just a really short video that has my gross looking hairy knuckles on there, and then it says some stuff, and people see it and they click on it or not. So usually when you're using Reels, people make stuff that looks like this. I just realized I don't know if I can show other people's reels in this video. It might be copyright protected or whatever. But I'm sure you've seen them, right? Like people dancing around doing trendy stuff and they're always like funny or whatever. And it's the kind of thing you just look at when you're messing around. So it's not the type of thing you would think would work in ads. I didn't think it would work in ads, but I was like, well, hey, I'll test it anyway. So here's how I tested it, all right? First time I tested it over Easter weekend, just doing a promotion that was like really, really short-lived. It was like a little flash sale type of thing. And I wasn't using my tracking and analytics and automation app that I have now, so I didn't think it worked. But look at these stats here. This is ridiculous. So this was all retargeting, by the way. And if we look at it, I spent $70 a day on there, so I didn't even spend the whole amount. I spent a grand total of $52. And according to Facebook's analytics, which are questionable, it got me 6 times return on the money, which was crazy. You want to see the ad? It was horrible. Here, I can show you my own ad. Check this out. So look at this thing. I'm not going to make you listen to the sound, but look, I screwed up the editing. It stretched my head out. It's just me talking. It shows my website there for a little bit, and that's it, right? I'm just like rambling on a little bit. You can only do them for a maximum of 1 minute anyway when you're running them as ads, and I'd never done it ever. And so I set it up as a conversion ad, ran it, and it worked. I didn't know it worked at the time because Facebook stats their Facebook stats are great. We love them, right? But the first initial test was I didn't think it would work. And so then I get this thing from Depesh, and he's like, hey man, you should try Facebook Reels. But he said it cool because he's got a British accent, and it sounded smart. And I was like, okay, I'll try Facebook Reels. Never made a Facebook Reel in my life. I've only ever made, seriously, look at this many Reels ever in my life, period. I'm just not, I don't mess around with social media. I use it as ads, obviously, but I don't do all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just make something and test it out. All right. And here's what happened. Okay. So what we're looking at right here, this is the ROAS.org interface. So if you haven't heard of it, ROAS.org is a custom solution that I made for myself so I could track the results of my own ads and know what was actually bringing in money, and then automatically scale what's working and turn off the stuff that doesn't work. You can use it if you want. You can try it for free. Go to ROAS.org. You don't need a credit card to try it, and we'll even help you set everything up one-on-one for free, because we think if you use it, you'll love it, and then you'll become a customer later. Pretty simple logic, but check this out. All right, so here's the campaign. And so this is just a Reels campaign, and I put it on Facebook and Instagram. And this is important. This is the important part. Okay, there's 2 important parts. This is one of them. It was on Facebook and Instagram. And I only spent $73, right? Because it was, once again, I don't know why I just keep doing this on these very short, limited promotions, but the promotion was only over a weekend. So I didn't really run it for a long time, and I set the budgets low because I was just screwing around. But according to ROAS, which is the app I trust to actually give me accurate data and tracking, it brought in $293, which is great. It got me 3 customers. They spent $293, and I made 4 times the money that I spent. So you want to see the ad? And more importantly, do you want to see the unusual way that I set the campaign up? Because this is where the money is. All right. So let me show you the ad. And the reason I'm going to show you this ad is to demystify how you make reels. I don't want you to think you have to make reels like the popular ones where there's background music and there's all these effects and stuff. Look at the thing that worked for me. This might be one of the worst ads you're ever going to see in your life, by the way. All right, so here we are. We're inside of the actual campaign that I just showed you, but now we're in Facebook. So I want to show you how this thing was built and what made it work so that you can test this for yourself, and hopefully it'll make you a bunch of money. That'd be great. I'd love that. All right, so first thing we want to see is notice the difference in reporting. Always important. All right. ROAS tracked $200-something in sales. Facebook missed the overwhelming majority of the sales. They missed almost a third of it. I'm telling you, I'll say it a million times, if you're not tracking your sales and you're not tracking what ads are like bringing in sales to the penny and you don't know that data, then it's really, really making it hard for you to make ads work. So please, like, use ROAS.org. You can set it up, try it for a week. It's free. We don't even ask for a credit card. It'd be crazy not to. Or use something. I don't care. I mean, I do. I'd rather use ROAS, but still, as long as you're tracking, I want you to be happy. All right. So that's thing number one. But now let's look at this. Okay. So this is, I want to show you the ad first. All right. So this is probably one of the worst ads in history. I'm not going to make you watch it because it's a minute of me just talking, right? So I'm not saying anything cool. I'm like, hey, we're doing this ad challenge and you should join it. It's going to be pretty good. Click the link below to sign up. Like, it's a minute at most in here. And it's me just talking direct to the camera. And, I added a little thing saying this is when it's starting. And then you have these 2 different versions. You notice there's one for Facebook and one for Instagram. This is important, okay? That there are 2 different Reels platforms. This is a big deal because there's we have this little bubble right now. All right, little bubble where Facebook Reels are super cheap and they work really well. But this is the ad. All right, so
hey, you want to hang out with your old boy Frankie next week?
All right, so that's it. Like nothing crazy. So they watch that and they click it. So as you can see, terrible. It's not like what you're used to looking at on Reels. There's no background music. I'm not dancing around. I don't know how to do that. There's nothing, right? No special effects. It's just me yapping. You wouldn't think it would work. I wouldn't anyway, but have a look. Okay, we know that it worked, but why did it work? Well, it wasn't the ad. One of the reasons it worked, I'm going to show you both reasons, but one of them is placement. Okay, so please pay attention to this. This is super important. This will help you, I promise. So when I set up the campaign, and especially when I set up the ad group, if we go in here, instead of showing it everywhere, I'm on the dang ad itself. Hang on. There we go. Instead of showing the ad everywhere, all right, which is what you normally would do, you just say choose automatic placements. It's right here. Instead of this, which is by default, what I did is I selected manual placements. I said only show this on mobile, which kind of makes sense. I mean, I guess technically you could watch Reels on your desktop, maybe. I don't know. But I said only show it on mobile. And then look, I selected Facebook and Instagram, and I only showed it on Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels, period. The end. Those are the only placements I'm showing this thing on. And here's why, all right? The reason why is because Facebook Reels, and if you're hearing me say Facebook Reels and you're like, what? I thought Reels were for Instagram. I know, dude, that's the point. Facebook Reels are new, and Facebook is giving a really good break to advertisers that use that placement. So they'll show your ad really freaking cheap. Let me show you how cheap. All right, so here we are. We're in the campaign, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the cost by placement here, meaning where did it show up? Was it on the Facebook or was it on the Instagram? All right, so let's have a look. If we look, we can see that I only spent $7.57 on Facebook. All right, so the algorithm, for whatever reason, spent most of my budget on Instagram, which is cool, but look at this, okay? The only sale that Facebook tracked actually came from Facebook. So it cost me $7.57. I got $98 in sales here. So it actually could have been 2. People could either pay $49 or $98. So I'm not quite sure whether it was 1 customer or 2 customers. But what's really cool about this, and the thing that I want to share with you, because this is really what's making Reels work, especially if you do Facebook placements, is the cost. All right. So if we look over here, it costs me $11.52 to show this to 1,000 people. Compare this to Instagram, it costs $36 to show it to 1,000 people. Same 1,000 people. It's just that Instagram Reels are 3 times more expensive than Facebook Reels. Or a better way to put this is that Facebook Reels are so new that Facebook is charging you 1/3 of the amount that they charge you to use Instagram Reels, which is cool because the more people you get your ad in front of for the less money, assuming your targeting is right, then you're gold, right? So that's the dang thing that got the tracked sale was from Facebook Reels, which is super cheap. Now there's a second reason this ad worked, and that is I used it for retargeting, and I used it completely differently than what most people do. So let's take a look at the campaign itself. Notice the title of the campaign. It's Reels VV, FB, and IG. VV stands for video views. I didn't run this as a conversion campaign. I just ran it as a video views campaign, and I ran it to my retargeting list, and this is super important. See, we think that when we're running ads that all we ever do is run conversion ads, right? So you just say, okay, Facebook or whatever, get me customers or get me leads or whatever. But there's a gazillion other types of ads you can run, and they all have a time and place to be used. And in retargeting, you can do video views ads and as Reels placements specifically and actually get sales and make a nice little return on your ad spend, as we see right here. That campaign actually brought in $293. Facebook only tracked $98, which is nothing new there, but it brought me 4 times the money I spent, right? So why does that work? Well, let me show you. Facebook is basically a supercomputer that serves ads, right? That's all it is a supercomputer with a brilliant algorithm that shows words and pictures to people based on what you want to accomplish. So if you tell it the right stuff and you give it enough information, that supercomputer is going to work really freaking good. So this is another third hidden reason why the Reels ads are working very well for me when it's just video views and I'm showing them to my retargeting list. Here's why. So my primary thing that I show to strangers, all right, if we look at my funnel, this is showing to strangers. These are ads that sell a $4 thingy, technical term there, all right, it's a $4 bundle of marketing courses, all right? So if you've been following along with these videos, you know that I like to use the 2-sentence ad framework. Now let me give you an example of an ad that has the 2-sentence ad framework in it. Here's an example, right? So this is just a video ad, and it's got 2 sentences of copy. And I've been using these same ads with just 2 sentences of copy since June of 2021, or maybe July, I can't remember, but whatever. So sometimes they have a video, sometimes it's just a picture, but it's always get 4 complete courses from Frank Kern, who you have no idea who he is, because I'm showing this to total strangers, for $4. There's a picture, a video, and then the second sentence is get 4 new marketing courses for just $4. All right, so that is the top of my funnel. And this is where the majority of my budget is spent. All right. And these ads do okay. They make a little bit of money. For example, here are some campaigns I'm testing right now, just for the past couple of days. Spent $1,500, brought in $2,400. Nice little 50% return on my money in a little bit more than 24-hour period. This is kind of standard. But, okay, these campaigns, of course, I want to turn a profit on them, but ultimately they're designed to do 2 things. Thing number 1, they're designed to get me a customer that I can make very happy, and that customer will become a repeat customer later. Kind of how business works, so that's one way that I use them. But the other way is this, all right? And this is so critical. So please bear with me on this one. I promise you this information will help you a lot. Okay. Keep in mind, Facebook's a supercomputer. It's brilliant. It's got a very brilliant algorithm. So when I go out to the world and I choose an audience, it doesn't matter, whichever one, people who like marketing or people that like Gary Vee or people that own small businesses, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a look at that audience, all right? And that audience, let's say it's got 10 million people in it. And it's going to take a look at my ad. And the ad says 4 marketing courses for $4, all right? And then Facebook's algorithm is going to look at my website, and that website is all about marketing courses. So I'm just going to put MC here for $4, okay? And Facebook's going to get all of that data, and it's going to choose a little subsegment of this audience that it thinks is going to be the best group of people, and it's going to show that ad to those people, and they're going to go here, and they're going to buy stuff or not, and when they do buy stuff, that data is going to go back to Facebook because I use ROAS. And so we send all of our sales transaction, and yours too, if you use it, we send all of your tracking data, all of your sales data back to Facebook so it trains their artificial intelligence a little bit better. So all that data goes back there, and it makes the algorithm smarter and smarter and smarter. So here's why this is so important. When I'm running these ads, these are my top of funnel ads. This is what I spend the most money on. All right. Not only is it making a little bit of profit immediately, but it's also getting the best possible people to engage with my ads by either clicking on them or reading them or watching the video or commenting or whatever. And if you think about this from a logical standpoint, I know logic, God forbid, but if you think about this from a logical standpoint, what we're doing is those ads are the most expensive ads to run. They're conversion ads. I'm saying, Facebook, go get me a customer, right? So they're like, that's the premier, the most expensive thing you can buy on Facebook because that's making their algorithm work the hardest, and that's the most valuable traffic. So I'm going out, it's getting the most valuable traffic, and a lot of those people are clicking on ads and stuff, and they're getting into my retargeting audience, okay? So if you think about this, I already spent the money when I'm advertising my top of funnel ads to get customers. It's the most expensive traffic that you can buy when you're trying to get customers, right? And it's showing it to the best possible people because we're using the artificial intelligence and the machine learning. And those best possible people are entering my retargeting list because they're engaging with the ad or they're clicking on it or they're watching the videos or whatever. So if I have these people already in the retargeting audience, and I've already spent the money to get them to self-identify as being good prospects because they're clicking on a freaking ad or they're engaging with an ad or whatever that says well, look, I mean, if somebody is engaging with this ad, right, or one like it that is using totally obvious copy that says get 4 marketing courses from this dude who you don't know for $4, then they're probably really interested in marketing stuff. They just didn't buy immediately because nobody buys immediately, even though some of them do, but you understand, right? So when we come over here, these are the people that are in the retargeting audience. They're the best possible traffic that Facebook can identify based on its gazillion-dollar algorithm that has got like freaking NASA people or whatever working on 24/7. So when I come over to Facebook and I run that Reels ad to my retargeting list, there's no point in me paying the extra money to say, hey, Facebook, go into this retargeting group, this little audience, and like find the best people who are most likely to buy and only show them the ad, because all of these people in this list are the best people who are most likely to buy because Facebook identified them when they were responding to the top of funnel ad, which is why I can run and you can run and anyone can run a Facebook Reels ad that costs you next to nothing to run and just run it as a video views ad. And if your funnel's good, it's going to be profitable for you. But if you don't track this stuff, you're never going to know, right? So you really, really, really have to have something that's going to do 3 things for you. Number 1, it's got to accurately track what ads are working and what ads are not. Then it's got to be able to automatically scale the stuff that's working, and it's got to be also able to automatically turn off the stuff that's not working. And then when things are borderline, when they're like close to working, it's got to be able to drop the budgets on those, because when you do that, it sends a signal to Facebook's algorithm that says, hey, work a little bit harder, get me better customers. That's what ROAS.org does. There's no possible way I would be able to go out and just randomly show this $4 bundle ad. Here, let me show you who this is going to. I'm like randomly showing this one campaign, for example. It has 120 different audiences in it. I pulled the audiences out of the air. Hold on, it'll load up in a second here. We've got to take that filter off. So I've got all these audiences. I just kind of made them up. I don't know if they're good audiences or not. There's no possible way I'd be able to do that at a profit consistently for like showing the same ad since June if I didn't have a tool like ROAS.org that allows me to automate all of this kind of stuff. Like I'd have to be managing 120 different audiences in one single campaign. Personally, there's no way I'm going to do that. I'm going to mess it up, right? So if you have that unfair advantage, then you can use like this entire formula, which is really, all right, let's use Facebook's artificial intelligence, to build us a great audience of really good prospects at a profit, and then show them ads for like way little like amount of money, like super cheap. You saw it, and get huge returns. That's the name of the game. Using the Reels placements is just one element of doing that, right? But it works really freaking good. So, in summary, try testing Facebook and Instagram Reels ads, and really try testing it with just Facebook placements, because it's so freaking cheap, right? It's like one of those little times when it's a new ad unit and we're getting a great deal on it, so we might as well take advantage of it. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. By the way, I don't use anything special to make my Reels. I just like make them on the phone. I don't do any of that fancy editing stuff. Do it if you want to. Who cares? As long as it makes money and you're doing things ethically and you're not hurting anybody, do whatever you want. All right? Just do it and test it and get results and build on what worked, and just don't do what didn't. It's pretty simple, especially when you automate it using ROAS.org. Okay, hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.